La Yashala. Imagine, which means to stand. Wapanya Hakodam, which means to rise and face the east. If you're in class with me physically, this is the east. We're going to start with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakuthka, Thabaa, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Baharataza, Kawa, Salaki, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, Lethalanawa, Lecham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalachanawa, Chabawafnawa, Kasalachnawa, Chabawafyanawa, Walaa, Tabayanawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Lakat, Hamalakwath, Waha'ala, Wahataparath, La Wilumyam Amon. In English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. Hakach, the prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baba Koshai, Nathalanawa, Hakach, La Ba'a, Kal Makala, Wukal Marawa, Hakach, La Tahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakach, La Hakwim, Hamafia, Hakach, Arachawath, Hatama'ala, Lagarashan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the water Aman. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. The prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Barak Lanawa, Wayasha'Allah, Waha, Bayatsapari, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, Ba'ashem Yahushai, for what Aman. What we just said was, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha, Ayanya, Al-Haharya, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shemarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yemninka, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'a, Yakarka, Wayarach, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makalrad, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazafka, Wabawarka, Ma'itha, Wa'ai, Awalam Aman. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Behold, he that keepeth Israel, Salakia. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayo, al damayalaka, al tacharash, wa al tashakwat, al kayahana, awayabyaka, yahamayawan, wa mashanayaka, nasha'awa, ra'ash, al aimaka, ya'ariyamwa, sawad, wa yathayai tazawa, al tazakawanyaka, amawa, lakawa, wanakakidam, magoya, wala'a, yazakar, sham yasha'ala, aiwad, kaya, nawa'ai tazawa, la, yachadwa, alyaka, baryath, yakarathwa, Ahalia, Adaram, Wayashema Alium, Mawa'aba, Wahagaria, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Palashath, Aim Yashabia, Tazawar, Gam Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayo, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadyan, Kasaya Sara'a, Kayabian, Banahal, Hoyashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayoa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathamwa, Nadiyabawa, Ka'irab, Wakazaba, Wakazabach, Wakatazalmanai, Kalnasea Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarasha, Lanawa, Af, Naawaf, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Racha, Ka'ash, Taba Ira Yaira, Wakalahaba, Thalahat, Haryam, Khan, Daradatma, Basa Iraka, Salakia, Wabaso Pafka, Tabahalam, Malaa, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shemka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahalwa, Ayai, Wayachaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shemka, Yahawa, Labatka, Al, Yawan, Al, Kal, Ha'arataza, Aman. In English, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeb, yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Amunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as a stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded, and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame, and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High, over all the earth. So be it. The prayer for the blessings of the power structure in the Hebrew. Barak atah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahaya, Matazabia, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapyam, Ha Saranyam, Ha Kwatazayanyam, Ha Chayayalyam, Wa Ha Akwafyam, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, for water Aman. In the English, bless you Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Sar, which means to turn. All right. Yushabi, which means to be seated. All right, go ahead, clap it up. Uh-oh. All right. We're in Genesis. Get this thing straight, look a little crooked. All right, Most High in Christ. Go ahead, clap it up. All right, we're in Genesis, the 31st chapter, verse 1. All right. Waya Shemai, Af, Dabaria, Banya, Laban, La'amar, Laquach, Yaquah, Af, Kal, Ashar, La'abyanawa, Wama Ashar, La'abyanawa, Aisha, Af, Kal, Hakabad, Hazahah. All right. Verse 2. Wera'ah, Yaquah, Af, Panya, Laban, Wahana. So like Ayan Imawa, Kathamawal, Shalashwan. Shalashwan. All right, verse 3. Wayamar Yahweh al Yaquah Shawab al Arataza Abawafyak Walamo Wala Dathak Wala Mawala Salakia tongue twister Salakia Wala Mawala Dathak Wa Ahaya Imak verse 4. Waya Shalach, Yaquah, Waya Korah, Larakal, Walala'ah, Hashadah, Al, Taza Anawa, verse 4. Salakia. That was verse 4. We're going to verse 5. All right. Wayamar, Lahan, Ra'ah, Anakia, Af, Panya, Abayakan, Kaya, Ayananawa, Alya, Kathamal, Shalashim, Wa Alahaya, Abya, Haya, Imadya. Verse 6. Wa'athana, Yedithan, Salaki, Yediathan, Kaya, Bakal, Kakaya, Ibadthaya, Af, Abayakan, verse 7. Wa'abadyakan, Wa'abadyakan, Hathal, Baya, Wahakhalak, Af, Mashakorafya, Aisharath, Manyam, Wala'ah, Nathanawa, Alahayim, Laharai, Imadya. All right. Now we're going to go into English, read it in English now. All right, we're Genesis. This is chapter 34 and verse 1. All right. Genesis chapter 34 and verse 1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. Verse 2. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, Salakia, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. Verse 5. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. Verse 6. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. Verse 7. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. Verse 8. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife. Oh, Salakia. That was it. Verse 7 was it, Salakia. Bear with me, Salakia. All right, verse 7 was it on that. All right, so Dinah, the only daughter of Jacob, was out in the field and looking as beautiful as an Israelite sister looks. Some heathen Hamite, an African, which is their way, went and took advantage of her. He knew her, which is having sex with her, and then he wanted to marry her, which should prove to you what? That sex being marriage is an Israelite custom. And it's the way we believe things since Adam and Eve. Knowing your woman is making her your wife. Your husband knowing you is making you his wife. Everyone understand? Heathens do not believe that. Why? Because heathens were never taught, were never given the spirit of God. And so because of that, heathens will go out and R-word a woman, take advantage of a woman, and then think about marrying her, which is where monogamy comes from. For all of you dummies that believe in monogamy or that a man can only have one wife, that comes from the taking advantage of the Sabians' wives. It's called the abduction of the Sabians' wives. Why? Because the Greeks took advantage against a woman's will long time ago, and they ended up telling the fathers of those women that they took advantage of against their will that they will marry them and only have them as a wife. Before then, monogamy was unheard of. It was always a man having multiple women, but in our culture specifically, sex is marriage, which is why this Hamite that just laid down with Dinah, Jacob's daughter, Yaquab's daughter, Israel's daughter, he didn't marry her yet, because sex isn't marriage to heathens. Sex is just something that you do to heathens. It's just an act. It's just it's like drinking water or eating macaroni and cheese to heathens. And that's where we picked up that disgusting, vile, lascivious culture of one and done. Hit it and quit it. You ain't what is it called? Oh, you go to the club and meet some whore and then you have sex with her and now she's not your wife. What is it? Not hidden and that's hidden and quitting, but a one night stand. One night stands are not an Israelite culture. I'm sorry to tell you that, brother, but if you make love to a woman, that is your wife for until the day you die. Everyone understand that is our culture, and because it's our culture, Jacob was wroth. He was angry with this Hamite that just took advantage of his daughter. Why? Because that Hamite is not an Israelite. He's not the bone of his daughter's bone and flesh of his daughter's flesh. So he waited until his 12 sons, or at this time 11 sons, had returned back from watching the sheep so that they could plot and plan on what to do about what just happened to their sister and his daughter. Everyone understand? All right, so this is Genesis chapter 31 and verse 8. Ka Ya'amar Wachodayam Yahaya Shakarak Wayaladwa Kal Hatazaan Nakwadyam Wa'am Ka Ya'amar Yakwadyam Yahaya Shakarak Wayaladwa Kal Hatazaan Iquadyam. All right, verse 9. Wayatazal Alahayim Salakia Af Makwana Aliyakam Wayathan Laya. Verse 10. Wayhaya Ba'aith Yacham Hatazaan Wa'asha Ayanya Wa'ara'a Bachalwam Wahana Ha'ifadium Ha'alyum Al Hatazaan Iquadium Naquadium Wabarakyum. Verse 11. Where Amar Aliyah Mala'ak. Yeah, Mala'ak. That's not Malak. That's Mala'ak. Mala'ak. Ha'alahayim. Bachalawam. Yaikwa. Wa Amar. Hananayah. All right. Verse 12. Wayamar Sha'a Na'a Ayanyak Wara'a Kal Ha'ifadium Ha'alium Al Ha'awan Salaki Ha'an Iquadium Naquadium Wabarakyum Kaya Ra'ayafya Af Kal Ashar Laban Aisha Lak. Verse 13. Anakia Ha'al Boyaf Al Ashar Mashachaf Matazaba Ashar Nadaraf Laya Sham Nadar Aitha Kuwam Tazaa Man Ha'arataza Hazaaf Washawab Al Arataza Salaki. Yep, that's Arataza. Mawalathak. Verse 14. Watha'ain Rachal Wala'ah Watha Amaran Lawa Haiwad Lanawa Khalak Wanakhala Babayaf Abyanua. Yeah. All right. Now, this is Genesis chapter 34 and verse 8. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife. and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. So this is a deal that this heathen is trying to make with Israel, with Jacob, our forefather, to do what? To keep the peace. Because he knows what his filthy, disgusting African son just did, and he doesn't want retaliation from the Israelites, from the 12 tribes, to go and put hurt on his son. So he's trying to make peace with Jacob by giving them heathen, nasty African wives that you and Dr. Umar love so much, when those African women are just as disgusting as white women. And it is just as unlawful to be with a white woman as it is to be with an African woman. There is no difference in our laws and in our culture. So you go and lust after a dark-skinned African woman when she's not your sister and you are not allowed to be with her. So Jacob is trying to keep the peace, so he's listening to the deals of this deal. He's listening to the deals of this peace treaty, if you would. Okay? This is verse 11. And Shechem said unto her, Salakia, verse 10, and ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. Verse 11. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. So they're trying to do what? Keep the peace. Verse 12. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife. He wanted to marry this Israelite sister so bad because our women are so gorgeous, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women. And they are the best woman and the best looking woman on the face of the earth. The smartest woman, the kindest woman, and the baddest woman on this planet. And all heathens know it. So he wants this sister, Dinah, so bad, Jacob's daughter. He wants her so bad that he's willing to give Jacob everything. And his father, Amor, is willing to give Jacob land and business and animals and land, which makes you a wealthy man today and yesterday. Having land and business and farms and animals, it made you wealthy. So he's listening. Jacob, Yaquab, is listening to this deal from Shechem, the son that took advantage of his daughter, and Hamor, the father of Shechem. All right. This is verse 13. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. Why is that so important? Because the Israelites, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, his 12 sons, what did they say in today's time? You are a filthy, stinking heathen, and it is not our culture to give our sister to a heathen. I wish some brothers would have said that to Serena Williams before she married that devil. I wish some brothers would have said that. Brothers who are willing to stand up for the truth should have said that to who was Nina Simone back in the 70s and the 60s when she married that oppressor. I wish somebody would have said that before our sisters began to marry our oppressor in mass numbers. We cannot give you our sister, you uncircumcised Philistine. That's not our culture. Everyone understand? So they telling deceitfully, what does that mean? They're telling him something. They're not deceitfully meaning this. I'm going to just go ahead and give you the answer. The 12 tribes of Israel, these brothers of Dinah, were not telling the heathen that took advantage of her what they were planning to do. All they said was, well, we can't do this thing for you. We can't give you our daughter because you are, we can't give you our sister because you are uncircumcised. Circumcision was an Israelite custom, just like bathing, just like having one God. It's all an Israelite custom. It's all our culture. So heathens didn't get circumcised, but we did. And these brothers deceitfully, the Bible said, were telling this to that Shechem, that heathen, that Hamite. Well, we can't give you our sister. Why? Because you're uncircumcised. Everyone understand? Shalom to the sister. Shalom, sis. Yahweh Shemar Tabashem Yahushua. All right, let's keep going in the Hebrew. This is Genesis chapter 31 and verse 15. Halawa'ah, Nakharyawath, Nakashabnawa, Lawa, Kaya, Makaranwa, Wayakal, Gam, Akawal, Salaki, Af, Kasapanwa. I keep thinking this thing is touchscreen, Salaki. It's a bad habit. It ain't touchscreen. All right. Verse 16. Kaya, call. Ha'ishar, Ashar, Hatazayal, Alahayim, Ma'ab Yanawa, Lanawa, Hawa'ah, Walabanyanawa, Wa'aitha, Kal, Ashar, Amar, Alahayim, Alayak, Aisha, verse 17. Wayaquam, Yaiqua, Wayasha'a, Af, Banyua, Wa'af, Nashiyawa, Nashayawa, Al, Hagamalium, verse 18. Way in the Hog, Af, Kal, Makwanahawa, Wa'af, Kal, Rakashwa, Ashar, Rakash, Makwana, Kwanyanawa, Ashar, Rakash, Bapadan, Aram, Labawa'a, Al, Yatazaka, Abua, Arataza, Canine. Verse 19. All right, Genesis 31 and 19. Walaban, Halak, Lagazaz, Af, Taza Anawa, Watha Ganab, all right, Rakal, Af, Hatharapat Salaki, Hathaparium, Ashar, La'abya, verse 20. All right. Waya Ganab, Yaiqua, Af, Lab, Laban, Ha'aramat Salaki, Ha'aramya, Al, Boya, Hagayad, Lawa, Kaya, Barach, Hawa'ah, verse 21. All right. Waya Barach, Hawa'ah, Wakal, Ashar, Lawa, Wayaquam, Wayaiquab, Af, Hanahar, Wayasham, Af, Panyua, Har, Hagalide. All right. Shalom, sis. Yahweh Shema Tabashim Yahushai. All right, this is Genesis chapter 34 and verse 15. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Verse 16. Remember, the Bible said deceitfully. So they're telling them this deceitfully, meaning the truth is not in their intentions and what they're going to do. Verse 16, then we will give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. Verse 17, but if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. Verse 18, and their words pleased Hamor and Shechem Hamor's son. Verse 19, and the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. Verse 20, and Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city and communed with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable with us. Therefore, let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. All right, this is Genesis. So those Hamites, Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son, went back and told their other African fellows and people and told them, listen, these Israelites ain't so bad, man. They told us we are allowing them to do trade with us, to give them part of our land, deals with them, and they will be able to marry our daughters, and we'll be able to marry their daughters. And that's what those Hamites were thinking after the meeting with the 12 tribes of Israel and Jacob. All right, so this is Genesis chapter 31, verse 32. All right. Wayagad, Lalaban, Bayawam, Hashalash Salakia, Hashal Yashya, Hashal Yashya, Kaya, Barak, Yaiqua. All right, verse 23. Weahwach, Ath, Achiwa, Imawa, Wearadap, Acharyawa, Darak, Shabaith, Yum Yum, Salakia, Wayadabak, Athawa, Bahar, Hagalide. All right. Verse 24. Waya Ba'a, Alahayab, Al, Laban, Haaramya, Bachalam, Halayala, Wayamar, Lawa, Hashamar, Lak, Pun, Thadabar, Ain, Yaikwab, Matawab, Ai, Rai. Verse 25. Weashag, Laban, Ath, Yaikwab, Wayaikwab, Fakwai, Ath, Ahalwa, Bahar, Walaban, Fakwai, Ath, Achiwa, Bahar, Hagalide. Verse 26. Amar, Laban, Layaiqua, Ma, Aishayath, Wathaganab, Ath, Lababaya, Wathanahag, Ath, Banathia, Kashab Yawath, Charab. Verse 27. Lama, Nachabath, Labarach, Wathaganab, Afya, Wala'ah, Hagadath, Laya, Wa'ashalachad, Wa'ashalachach, Bashamacha, Wabasharyam, Bathan, Wabakanar, Wabakanara. All right, 28, verse 28. Wala'ah, Natashathnawa, Lanashach, Labanya, Walabanafya, Aitha, Hasakalaf, Aishua. All right. Most High Christ, shalom, sis. All right. So now we in Genesis chapter 21, we're in Genesis chapter 34 and verse 21. Verse 22. Verse 22. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised. Verse 23. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. Verse 25. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. Simeon, who are the so-called Dominicans today, and the Levites, the so-called Levites, the so-called Haitians are the biblical Levites today. So you have Haiti and Dominican Republic, and you wonder why the two don't get along. This is why the two don't get along, because now they done something against their father's will. The Lord not separated them, but caused division amongst them. Why? Because they were disobedient to their father. Jacob never wanted Simeon and Levi to go in there and enslave that nation of Africans, because he wanted to keep the peace between those Africans and them because of the benefit that he will receive from doing trade with them. This is called what? Politics. Jacob didn't want his sons, his military, to go and strike these Hamites. Why? Because he wanted to be strategic in doing business with these Hamites. He was going to get land and trade and gold and business, and he was going to gain something more than what he had from these Hamites before this incident happened. So now let's read what happened. After Simeon and Levi slew those Hamites. Verse 26. And they slew Hamor and Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out. Verse 27. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city because they have defiled their sister. Verse 28. They took their sheep. Also, sidebar. What I'm not saying is that Simeon and Levi had the wrong spirit. Just like the brother, what was his name in the Old Testament that slew that brother in the tent with the Moabite. He was on top of the Moabite, and he took a javelin and he speared him with the javelin and slew him. That brother had the right spirit. In another month, we'll go over the Feast of Hanukkah, where you had strong, hardcore brothers in the nation of Israel at that time who slew men who defiled our temple with pork and was slaying dogs and cats on our temple. And they had the right spirit. Who else had the right spirit? Nat Turner and Denmark Vesey doing their rebellions here in America. There is a spirit amongst a certain group of men in the nation of Israel where we just cannot be slaves to our oppressor. And we cannot allow evil to come up on our sisters or evil to come up on our brothers. And there are certain men who are willing to risk their lives for their people. Those men today are found in the Isupk. Those men that have that spirit of Simeon and Levi, the so-called Haitians and Dominicans today, we have that spirit in the Isupk under Commander Juniata. There is a specific group of brothers, a certain type of spirit where you just cannot be a slave. You would rather die and go to war or go to prison for the rest of your life than be a slave. If you are a brother with that spirit, the spirit of Simeon and Levi right here in this verse, you need to come join the Isupk under Commander Juniata. You need to join our ranks, our holy ranks, and learn how to channel that same spirit to fish your people in the truth. Not to go out and unalive white people like the Black Panthers. Not to unalive oppressors like Nat Turner and Denmark Vesey, although they have the right spirit. You have to learn how to use that spirit to fish more of your brothers and sisters with that same spirit in the truth. If you have that spirit, come and join our holy ranks under Commander Juniata in the Isupk, because that is the type of man we were looking for in here, because all the brothers in here have that same spirit. I pray you understand. Verse 27, the sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep and their oxen and their asses and that which was in the city and that which was in the field. All right. Here's what this teaches us. Although you may have the right spirit in wanting to fight your oppressor the way the Black Panthers did, you have to always remember that order, following and being obedient to your Lord's orders, always outweighs any personal feeling that you might have. You may have a stellar plan to overthrow the American government. I know, I get you. I know you think you're Nat Turner 2.0, like Dr. Umar Johnson. I understand, brother. But what benefit will that do the nation of Israel if you overthrew the American government? Let's say, for argument's sake, you do overthrow the American government and you want black people in charge. Are we fit to be in charge right now? Full of dope and abortions and Planned Parenthood and full of gonorrhea and herpes and chlamydia and AIDS. Do you think we're a fit people to lead a nation? Do you think that? We are not, which is why it's important to join the Isupk under Commander Juniata, because this is where you receive the training to be a nation's leader. This is where you learn how to lead a people, man. Not in the world, not in the church, not in the mosque, not in prison. You understand? Not being not being in the streets like Little Dirk or GD or Vice Lords. None of that. Joining gangs, Crips, and Bloods is not going to teach your brothers and sisters how to be a people who can rule a nation, who can take a nation of people and make an entire country thrive with business and laws and military might and structure and discipline. We're not those people right now because we have a lot of work to do. But with the right brothers in charge, like the men under Commander Juniata, the more of you we get in here, brother, then we will rule a nation of people. I pray you understand. But you aren't in any position to lead. Why? Because you still suffer from alcoholism and weakness and from drug addiction and from Christianity and wanting to celebrate Esau's holidays. How in the world you're going to lead your people and you follow your oppressor's God? That cannot be. So what do you have to do? Learn how to take orders first. And that's where Simeon and Levi messed up. That's where Moses messed up. Even though these men had the right spirit, Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Huey P. Newton, and Bobby Seale, there's a spirit on brothers that they want to rule, man. They want their people to be in charge. They want the best for their people, but they go about doing it the wrong way. Even Toussaint L'Ouverture in the Haitian Revolution, listen, that was a righteous insurrection, a revolution, and they had the right spirit. But look at the condition of Haiti today, right? Nat Turner had the right spirit in what he did. Those brothers in the Bible, Mattathias in the Feast of Hanukkah, had the right spirit in the first and second Maccabees when they destroyed the Greeks and slew men slaying pork on the temple. They had the right spirit. But look at the condition of our people today. Was it worth it? Hell yeah, it was worth it. But look at where it left us. Look at where it left us, right? There is something that is needed more than physical action, right? Then when I say physical action, I mean overthrowing the American government, right? There's something more than that, right? Coming into the truth, serving the Most High God is more than physical. It's more than being physically capable or strong enough to do something. It's being spiritually strong. You understand? I'm not saying these brothers didn't have spiritual strength, but this much I do know: they didn't obey orders because Jacob, their father, didn't want them to do this. You understand? Even though they had the right spirit in defending their sister, they didn't talk to their father about it first. And that's where they messed up. And that's where we mess up as a people, taking matters into our own hands, which is why the Most High God had to tell us what? Vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord. Instead of us trying to take vengeance, let's become a people worth saving. Let's become a people that don't have to take vengeance into our own hands because God will take vengeance for us. Let's become that people. That comes with spiritual strength, not physical strength. That comes with being able to say Khan, I don't want Khan, and obey orders over your own lust, over your own personal opinion, over what you want. You're going to have to put that aside and obey what your Lord wants. That's what we need in the nation of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Everyone understand? All right, go ahead and clap it up. All right, now we're in Genesis chapter 31 and verse 29. Yash la'al, yadiyah, la'aishuaf, Imakam, Rai, Salakia, wa alhaya, wa alhaya, abikum, amash, amar, aliyah, la amar, hashamar, lak, madabar, ain, yaikwa, matawab, id, rai. Verse 30. All right. Waitha, halak, halakaf, kaya, nakasap, nakasapath, labyath, abyak, lama, ganabath, af, alahaya. 31, verse 31. Oh, wait, Salakia. I apologize. We're in, hold on, give me 1 second. Hold on. Because I should be in 34. I feel like this thing jumped. Give me 1 second. This thing got messed up. Hold on. Give me 1 second, Akim. Bear with me. Genesis 34. Okay, here we go. All right, Salaki, Akim. And we're in 34 and 29. Somehow, Salaki, that was my fault. Somehow it jumped 2 different chapters over. Salaki. All right, here we go. This is right. Yeah. Okay, Khan. So Laki, that's my fault. All right, so this is Genesis chapter 34, verse 29. in the Hebrew. All right, here we go. Ra'ath, call. Hayalam, wa'ath, call. Tupam, wa'ath, Nashiyaham, Shabwa, Waya Bazar, wa'ath, call. Ashar, Bawayath. Verse 30. Wa'amar, Yaikwab, Al, Shemayawan, Wa'al, Loya, Ikarathim, Afya, Lahaba, Salakia, Lahaba, Yashanya, Lahaba Yashanya, Bayashab, Harataza, Bakananya, Waba Parazia, Anaya, Mafia, Masapar, Wana Sapwa, Alwa, Salaki Alya, Wahako, Wanaya, Wana Madathaya, Anya, Wabayafia, verse 31. All right. Waya Marak Salakia. Waya Amarwa. Hakaza Wana. Yaisha. Achawafnoa. All right. Now Genesis chapter 35 and verse 1. All right. Wayamar, Alahayim, Al, Yaikwa, Kwam, Ilah, Bayath, Al, Washab, Sham, Waashya, Sham, Mazabach, Laal, Hanara, Aliyak, Babarachach, Mapanya, Aishua, Achayak. Verse 2. All right. Wayamar, Yaquab, Al, Bayathwa, Wa'al, Kayat, Salakia, Kal, Ashar, Imawa, Hasarwa, Af, Alahaya, Hanakar, Ashar, Bathakakam, Wahata Taharawa, Wahakhalyu, Salaki, Kalayatwa, Wahakalayatwa, Shamalafyakam. Verse 3. Wana Wama, Wana Allah, Bayath Al, Waha Salaki, Wa Aisha, Sham, Mazabach, Salaki, Mazabach, La'al, Haina, Afya, Bayawam, Tazarafya, Wayahaya, Imadya, Badarak, Ashar, Alakafya. All right, verse 4. All right. Wayathanwa, Al, Yaquab, Af, Kal, Alahaya, Hanakar, Ashar, Bayadam, Wa'af, Hanazamyam, Ashar, Ba'azanyaham, Wayataman, Atham, Yaquab, Thachaf, Ha'ala, Ashar, Ain, Shekam. All right. It's Genesis chapter 34 and verse 29. And all their wealth and all their little ones and their wives took they captive and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land. That's heavy. What does that mean? To stink. His reputation is now going to be Jacob is deceitful. He made this peace treaty with these Hamites, Hamor and Shechem, and then goes and sends his boys to go and unalive them and spoil their city. You're going to make my reputation stink among everyone else. Now everyone's going to know me as a deceitful liar like Esau. And that's not who he was and not who he intended to be. So he's telling his sons, you shame me. You what? Ye have troubled me. Now my life and your life is in danger all because of the action that you did without any order. And that's what I was just saying in the previous verses. Your life is about following orders, black man, Hispanic and Native Indian. Your life is all, make your life about following your Lord's order. Because if not, you're going to be like Simeon and Levi and trouble the rest of us and make the rest of our reputation stink because you can't control yourself or have discipline. That's what it takes to be a man in here, a priest and prophet of God, and the truth and Isupk and Commander Junior. It takes self-discipline. It takes you to not do what you want to do, but do what you're ordered to do. Do what you're ordered to do. Whether you get glory for it or not, you do what you're told. That's what it takes, brother. That's what it takes to free your nation and to really rule the world, to have discipline, to go without the things that you want. That's what it takes. Everyone understand? Verse 30. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, you have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed. And I shall be destroyed. So like it, I and my house. And they said, should he deal with our sister as with an harlot? Now, what are they doing to their father? Their father is giving them wisdom from a grown man's perspective. But being young brothers, young men understand violence and war. They haven't lived long enough to really have that wisdom yet. Now, I ain't going to say live long enough, but they're young men. And young men's heart are set on two things: to be violent and to tie fire to tell. A young brother is just wired like that if he isn't raised with wisdom. And these young men, Simeon and Levi at this time and point in their lives, are young brothers who just wanted to defend their sister. But instead of having some discipline and listening to their father's, their Lord's order, they just went out and did what their heart was set on doing, which is what? Defending our sister. Defending our sister, and they have the right spirit. Don't let anybody treat your sister like a whore. That don't mean going unalive everybody that looks at her wrong or does something to her. You need to get counsel first and abide by what the counsel says. And that's also very important. Don't do what your own opinion. You can't give yourself counsel. Okay, you are an idiot if you think you can tell yourself what to do. You cannot. Everybody, men and women, children, boys and girls, all need some authority figure over them to tell them what to do, because you are an idiot if you think that you can give yourself advice. You cannot give yourself advice. You need advice from someone who is more wise than you are. You need someone to give you. That's why the presidents have cabinets. What is a cabinet made out of? People who are experts in economy and finance and military. That's what the Joint Chiefs of Staff are. You think the damn president makes a decision to a military decision without advice from his Joint Chiefs of Staff? You don't think George Bush, before he invaded 9/11, received wise counsel from, well, it could have been unwise, but he received counsel from someone other than his damn self. Although he makes the final decision, he is not the one that comes up with the ideas of that decision. And you need in life someone who can give you ideas on how to do things, because you cannot do it for yourself. A patient makes a terrible doctor. You can't heal yourself. You can't give yourself your opinion out of your own stupid mind, what you would do. That makes for 25 years in life in prison. There's plenty of brothers doing life in prison right now because they gave their own self-advice. He looked at you wrong, so what are you going to do? Man, what you going to do? He stepped on your shoes. Man, I'm going to go kill him. I'm going to go unalive him. Okay? That's one way you could do it. Or you can listen to a man wiser than you who's lived a lot of winters, who knows more than you, and he will tell you. You just go talk to that brother and tell him what happened, what he did that offended you so much. He stepped on your shoe and didn't say sorry. Go tell him what he did. If he doesn't hear you, bring him back here so we can squash this. That's called counsel. That's called brotherhood, and that's what we need. We don't need you thinking and making your own decision. You're going to do 25 years in life or be on child support, or worse, get an STD, or be a sister without a father with 4 babies and no babies' daddies to take care of them, all because of your own decision making. One thing you better always remember in your life is that you are terrible at making your own decisions. You need help with making decisions. Every one of us do. Simeon and Levi needed help. They needed wisdom. They needed their father, their Lord's advice. So what did they do? Took their own advice. Well, these Africans raped our sister, took advantage of our sister. We're going to go and alive them. Jacob didn't tell them to do that. They were out of order. They were out of order by doing what they wanted to do. Now they troubled their father. They troubled their Lord and brought a stain on his reputation of being a deceitful liar instead of just following orders. Now the whole entire nation is going to be wiped out by the Perizzites and the Canaanites because they did something that they wanted to do instead of doing what they were told to do. Everyone understand? This is Genesis chapter 35 and verse 1. And the Most High said unto Jacob, arise, go up to Bethel and dwell there, and make there an altar unto the Most High that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Then Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, put away the strange powers that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. Verse 3. And let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto the Most High, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went. Verse 4. And they gave unto Jacob all their strange powers which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. All right. Let's go Genesis chapter 35 and verse 5. All right. Waya Sa'iwa, Waya Haya, Kathaf, Alahayim, Al, Ha'irayim, Ashar, Sabya, Bathyahum, Wala'ah, Redatwa, Acharya, Banya, Yaiquab. All right. Verse 6. Wayaba'ah, Yaiquab, Lavazah, Ashar, Ba'aratazah, Kanain, Hawa'ah, Bayaf, Al, Hawa'ah, Wakal, Ha'aim, Ashar, Imawah, Imawah, verse 7. All right. Wayaban, Sham, Mazabach, Wayakora'ah, Lamakwam, Al, Bayaf, Al, Kaya, Sham, Nagalwa, Aliwa, Alahayim, Baba Mapanya, Achayawa, Achyawa. All right, verse 8. Wathamath, Dabara, Maya. I thought we cut off for a second. Maya Nakwath, Rabakwa, Wathakwabar, Mathachath, Labyath, Al, Thachath, Ha'alwa, Ha'alawan, Wayakora'ah, Shamwa, Alawan, Bakawath, verse 9. Wayara'ah, Alahayim, Al, Yaiquab, Iwad, Baba Awa, Mapadan, Aram, Wayabarak, Athawa. Right. Verse 10. Got one verse after this. Wayamar, Lawa, Alahayim, Shamak, Yaiqua, La'ah, Yakora'ah, Shamak, Iwad, Yaiqua, Kaya'am, Yasha'ala, Yahaya, Shamak, Wayakora'ah, Af, Shamwa, Yasha'ala. Verse 11, last verse. Wayamar, Lawa, Alahayim, Anya, Al, Shadya, Para, Warabah, Goya, Wakwahal, Goyam, Yahaya, Mamak, Wamalakyum, Makhala Tazayak, Yatazawa. All right. This is Genesis chapter 35. And we are in verse 5. And they journeyed in terror of Salaki, and they journeyed, and the terror of the Most High was upon the cities that were round about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. The Most High God will fight for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians like he always has, as long as we earn his protection, which is so hard for us to understand. You think you are owed God's protection, and you are not. The Most High only protects his people that are going to listen and obey his command, his order, his laws, his statutes, like any good father. You can't do what you want to do and then ask God for protection. You can't go and unalive the cat who unalived your brother and then go to the courtroom and pray to God for forgiveness and ask God to help you out of this 25-year sentence. You're getting 25 years. Why? Because you should have did that before you unalived the cat that unalived your brother. You see how life works? You have to be a good son. You have to be a good daughter to earn the Lord's protection, or else you're not going to get it. Verse 6. So Jacob came to Luz, which is the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar and called the place El Bethel, because there the Most High appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. But Deborah, which is Deborah in Hebrew, verse 8, but Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak. And the name of it was called Alam Bachuth. Verse 9, and the Most High appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padaram and blessed him. And the Most High said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel, Yashar'Allah, a prince of the power. Verse 11, and the Most High said unto him, I am the Most High Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. That is a prophecy that the Most High God gave to our forefather Jacob, Israel. He gave that prophecy to him. He gave that covenant to him. Why? Salaki, not why. He gave that prophecy to him. He gave that covenant to Jacob because he knows this great nation is going to come from his loins. He already had 12 sons at this point. He already had one daughter, so he had 13 kids. And the Most High God promised him kings are going to come from those sons. Kings will come from your loins. Kings in a great nation and a company of nations will come from your loins. The same promise he gave his grandfather Abraham and his father Isaac, man. Like, God is not a man he's going to lie. The Most High keeps his promises. You better learn to keep yours. You better learn to keep your oath. That's what a promise is. You better learn to keep it, man. You take an oath to serve God, keep it. Keep it until the day you die. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how hard it looks, keep that oath. Keep it until the day you die, man. Why? So your reputation is not stained. So that everyone in the Most High God, most importantly, knows you are a brother or a sister who keeps their reputation. Because God is going, or somebody who keeps their oath. Because God is going to keep his. You can best believe that, Ak. The Most High God chose the nation of Israel. We ain't going nowhere, Ak. We ain't going nowhere. We're not, going to be wiped off the face of the earth. We're not going anywhere. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians will always be fruitful and multiply. Always. And our God will always be the Most High God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That never is going to end. You know what else is never going to end? The laws of God that we are always supposed to follow. Always supposed to obey. And guess what else is never going to end? The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. This is the truth that brings our brothers and sisters to Christ, to follow our King Christ, to follow the ordinances and the laws of God. This is that place. And if you are outside of this place, you are not in the truth. So I advise you to get in the truth, to obey God, to do what? So that now you earn the Most High God's protection. So when the next hurricane comes to flood your city, or the next tornado comes to wipe your houses off of Oklahoma's map, or Missouri or Kansas's map, or Texas's map, you will be safe from that danger. When the next threat of COVID-22 comes to the world, you will be safe from the next plague. Your children will be safe from the next child predator that comes lurking in your neighborhood. But you just don't get the Most High's protection. You have to earn it the way Jacob did. You have to earn it the way Isaac did. You have to earn it the way Abraham did. I pray you understand. Verse 11. And the Most High said unto him, I am the Most High Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. Most High Christ, brother. That's our for. That's where we come from. This great nation. I know all we look like now are just, a bunch of slaves that Donald Trump and America and the world hates. But brother, if you come into the UPK, that won't be for long. This could be the very last election in America if you join the ISUPK. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who are watching on the outside, come join Commander Jenihana's army. Come join the truth. Why? So that we will be free from the next atrocity that comes to America. The next atrocity that comes to Great Britain and the world. You will be free from it. Why? Because God is going to save us. Why? Because we're his people, his chosen people, who he loves and who he wants to protect, who he wants to keep safe from all hurt, harm, and danger. But you have to earn it. You got to earn it, sis. It's not something you just get. It's not something you're born with. You have to learn how to earn God's protection. And earning God's protection comes with obeying him. I pray you understand. This is Genesis chapter 35. This is Genesis chapter 35, verse 12. Wa'af ha'aratazah Salakia. All right, we're in the right place. Genesis chapter 35, verse 12. This is in the Hebrew. Wa'af ha'aratazah ashar Salakia. Nafafia la'abraham Salakia. Walaya Tazakah, Lak, Athanana, Wala Zaraik, Acharyak, Athan, Ath, Ha'aratazah, verse 13. Waya'al, Ma'aliwa, Alahayim, Bamakawam, Ashar, Debar, Athawa, verse 14. Where Tazab, Yaikwa, Matazab, Salaki, Matazabah, Bamakawam, Ashar, Debar, Athawa, Matazabath, Aban, Wayasak, Aliyah, Nasak, Wayatazak, Aliyah, Shaman, verse 15. Wa'ah, Yaikwa, Ath, Sham, Hamakoram, Ashar, Debar, Athawa, verse 16. Wa'asaiwa, Mabayath, Al, Wa'ahaya, Iwad, Kadarath, Ha'aratazah, Labawa, Salakia, Labawa'a, Aparath, Wathalad, Rachal, Rachel, all right, Wathakwash, Baladath, verse 17, Wa'ahaya, Bahakwashat, Salakia, Bahakwashaf, Baladath, Watha Amar, La'a, Hamayala, Salakia, Hamayaladath, Al, Thayaraya, Kaya, Gam, Za, Lak, Bun, verse 18, last verse. Wayahaya, Batazaath, Napasha, Kaya, Matha, Wathakora'a, Shamwa, Salakia, make sure we're not cut off. Ban, Awanya, so where am I at? Wa'abua, Kroa'a, Lawa, Banyamin, all right? Benjamin, all right? This is Genesis chapter 35. Where we at? Verse 12, all right? And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac to go, Salakia, and the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. Verse 13. And the Most High went up from him in the place where he talked with him. Verse 14. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon. Verse 15. And Jacob called the name of the place where the Most High spake with him, Bethel. And verse 16. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. And it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have this son also. So it was just 11 sons up until now. That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I knew, and I thought. It was 11 sons up until now, because this is the 12th son that's being born right now. Okay, verse 18. And it came to pass, as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Ben-Ami, or Ben-Ani, but his father called him Benjamin, or Benjamin, which is the nation. Now the so-called Benjamites, or now the Benjamites, are the so-called West Indians, the brothers and sisters from the West Indian islands, like Trinidad and Tobago, where the famous Captain Mashak Mayam is from, commanding General Yohana, a famous Benjamite. Okay. They are the so-called West Indians from Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, from Barbados, Martinique, from the islands of the West Indies. That is who the tribes have been. That is who the tribe of Benjamin is today. Everyone understand? All right. With that, I imagine, which means to stand, just us up or me up here. All right. La Yashala. I imagine, which means to stand. Everyone stand. Wapunya Hakudam, which means to rise and face the east. All right. We're going to read the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwithka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathalanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalachanawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalachnawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'ah, Tabayanawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'ala, Wahataparath, Laiwalumium, Aman, in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. Hakach, the prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Babukushai, Nathalanawa, Hakach, Hakach, Lara Pa'ah, Kal Makala, Wakal Marawat, Hakach, Latahar, Hamatazariah, Hakach, Lahakwim, Hamathium, Hakach, Arakawath, Hatama'ala, Lagarvashan, Bahashim Yahushai, for what Amun. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. The prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Barak Lanawa, Wayasha'ala, Waha, Bayaf Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, Bahashim Yahushai, for what Amun. What we just said was Yahweh in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. Psalms chapter 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahahariah, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Izaria, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Al-Yanawam, Shemarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tzalka, Al Yad, Yemninka, Yamamam, Hashemash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wearach, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rad, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaathka, Wabaaka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ai, Iwalam, Aman. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahaya, al-damayalaka, al-acharash, wa al-tashakwat, al-kayahana, al-wayabyaka, yahama-yawan, wa mashanayaka, nasha'awa, ra'ash, al-aimaka, ya'irayamwa, sawad, wa yathayai tazawa, al-tazapawanyaka, amawa, lakawa, wa nakakilam, magoya, wa la'a, yazakar, sham yashala, aiwad, kaya, nawa'ai tazawa, La, Yahadwa, Alika, Baryath, Yakarathwa, Aholia, Adawam, Wa Yashama Alyam, Mawa'aba, Wahagaria, Gabal, Wa Amawan, Wa Amalak, Palashaf, Aim Yashabya, Tazawar, Gam Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Haywa, Zarawai, Labanyalawat, Salah, Aisha, Lahum, Kamadyan, Kasaya Sara'a, Kayabyan, Banahal, Koyashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayan da'ara, Hayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shayathamwa, Nandayabmawa, Ka'airab, Wakazaba, Wakazabach, Wakazalmanai, Kal Nasaya Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarasha, Lanawa, Af, Na'awaf, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanyaraka, Ka'ash, Taba'ira Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Haryam, Khan, Tharadatma, Basairaka, Wabasawapafka, Dabahalam, Malaa, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahalwa, Ayyaai, Wayahaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahawa, Labatka, Al, Yawan, Al, Kal, Ha'arataza, Aman. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Salakia, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kisan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeb, yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Zamuna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it. The prayer for the blessings of the power structure in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matazab Ya'ah, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapyam, Ha Saranyam, Ha Kwatazayanyam, Ha Kalyalyam, Wa Hawathyam, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Thawada Aman. In the English, bless you Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh and the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Sar, which means to turn. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Ayman Shabbat, Ayman Rock, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Brakathum, Yajmatah, Sar, face the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Ayman Shabbat, Ayman Rock, Yahweh Shemar Alathan, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Yajmatah, dismissed.